Hi everyone, we're going to be doing a nice little yoga flow today. It'll open up your shoulders, your hips, your hamstrings. Ultimately, it's kind of to prepare your body to do wheel pose at the end. However, in general, if wheel isn't accessible to you, it's just a great hip and shoulder opener in general. So let's get started in child's pose. Bring your big toes to touch, open your knees out as wide as your mat. Slowly crawl your hands forward, melt your chest towards your mat. You can bring your forehead all the way down. Sink your hips towards your heels. Start to tune into your breath. With every inhale, maybe you crawl your hands forward a little bit more. With every exhale, let your hips sink towards your heels. Be present in this moment. Don't think about what's happened beforehand. Don't think about the things you may have to do after. Tune in to right now. Slowly come up to tabletop. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Untuck your toes. Stay active through your belly. On an inhale, drop your belly towards your mat. Lift your tailbone and the crown of your head up towards the sky. Cow pose. Stay pressing into the tops of your feet and into your hands. Don't dump. Make sure you're staying active. On your exhale, arch your spine. Drop your tailbone and the crown of your head down towards the mat. Cat. That rhymed. Inhale, cow. Open up through your chest. Exhale, cat. Move with the flow of your own breath. You can take any side-to-side movements, hip circles, anything that feels good in your body. If you take any side-to-side movements, make sure you even out your sides. Come to a tabletop position on your next inhale. Walk your hands out. Melt your chest down towards your mat. Keep your lower body as is. You want to keep your hips still stacked over your knees. This is puppy posture. If this doesn't feel good for you, you can always just sink back into child's pose. You can either lay your forehead on your mat, can lay your chin and your chest. Feel the stretch in your shoulders. Slowly walk your hands back in. Tabletop position. Inhale, lift your right arm high. Maybe you take some wrist circles. Exhale, thread the needle. Bring your right arm underneath your left. Plant your right ear onto your mat. You can either keep your left hand for more stability, where it is, or you can walk it out. Or if you'd like to go for a half bind, can lift it up and over across your lower back to reach for your right hip. Excuse me. Stay connected to your breath. Wherever your left hand is, replant it underneath your shoulder. Press up, back into your twist. Exhale, lower your right hand down. Inhale, lift your left arm high towards the sky. Exhale, maybe you take some wrist circles. My bad, gotta be fair to both sides. Exhale, thread the needle. Reach your left arm underneath your right. Whatever variation you took with your left hand on the other side, you can do with your right on this one, whether or not you reached it out. Maybe you had it come up and over for a half bind. On your next inhale, replant your hand underneath your shoulder, lift up, come back into that twist. Exhale, tabletop position. Crawl your hands forward all the way to the top of your mat. Lower your pelvis down to the floor for Sphinx pose. Your elbows should be directly underneath your shoulders. You want two parallel lines with your forearms. Grip through your fingers. Press firmly into your lower body and your feet. You want to still have everything active in this posture. You almost want to feel like you're pulling your hands back without moving them to slide your chest up and forward. Throughout your chest, it should feel like you're an upward facing dog. It's a much more passive upward facing dog. When you feel satisfied, plant your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, come into a high plank, and then on your exhale, downward facing dog. If this is your first downward facing dog of the day, you can walk out your feet a little bit. Maybe bend one knee and then the other. Stay firmly planted into your hands. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Find stillness. Take an inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, step to the top, forward fold. Press firmly into all four corners of your feet. Bend your knees as generously as you need to fold your torso over your thighs. You want to stay with a straight spine. You don't want to be curving. Relax your neck. Inhale, halfway lift. Slightly shift your weight into your toes. Place your hands on either your shins or your thighs. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and back to grow long through your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Slowly rise all the way up to a standing position. Lift your hands up overhead. Tuck your tailbone, draw your upper ribs in, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Turn your pinkies in to activate through your triceps. On your next exhale, bring your hands to heart center. This is where you can set an intention for your practice, if that's in your practice. It could be the intention of joy. Since this is a hip and shoulder opener, can be for the intention to be open and accepting. Whatever you feel you need in this moment. On an inhale, absorb that intention, absorb the energy surrounding you. Open mouth, exhale, let it all go. One more time, inhale, absorb all that energy. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift your hands up over your head. Exhale, you can bring your hands together, or maybe you grab your left wrist with your right hand. Slowly start to bend over to your right side. The purpose of this is more to keep length in both of your side bodies. So you don't want to be dumping all of your weight just to bend more. You want to feel length in both side bodies. So focus more on shooting up and out rather than shooting over. Make sure you're keeping equal amount of weight in both of your feet. Don't shift all of your weight to your right side. Keep your hips square to the front of your mat. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, side body bend to the left. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. I use that cue a lot, but it's because in a lot of postures, especially if you're tense through your shoulders or your neck, which I am, I more say it to remind myself of it. It's so easy to crunch up through there and not even realize that you're doing it. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, cactus out your arms. Reach your chest up, send your gaze up and back. Baby back bend. Slightly shift your weight into your heels. Maybe you bump your hips forward just a little bit. If you feel a lot of tension in your low back, focus more on rising through your chest than bending backwards. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, high plank. Option to flow through a chaturanga here. You can always do it on your knees if you'd like, or we can just meet in downward facing dog. Shift forward onto your toes, bend your elbows up to 90 degrees. Keep your shoulders in line with your hips. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press firmly into the tops of your feet to lift your knees and thighs up off of your mat. Press firmly into your hands to shine your chest forward. Exhale, tuck your toes, reach your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Lift your hands up overhead. Shift your weight. Shift your hips down and back. Bend your knees. Gaze down at your toes and make sure you can see all 10 of your toes. If you can't, try shifting your hips back just a little bit more. Keep your abdomen engaged. We're not here for long. On your next inhale, sweep your hands down and back. Lift them up past your hips. Squeeze your pinkies together. Lift onto your toes. Drinking bird. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Take an inhale, lift your hands up overhead, stay on your toes. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. While keeping your heels lifted, slowly dive your chest down. Let your heels be the last thing to touch your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands on your mat. Step your left foot back. Low lunge. Drop down to your back knee, untuck your toes, or you can keep them tucked if you feel more stable that way. But either way, lift through your chest, reach your hands up overhead, crescent moon. Make sure your front knee is stacked over your front ankle. Keep your hips square by slightly pulling back on your right hip and pulling forward with your left. Stay active through your pelvic floor. You don't want to be dumping all of your weight down. You want to make sure you're nice and active. Take an inhale. Exhale, cactus out your arms, baby back bend. Send your gaze up. On your next inhale, reach your hands up towards the sky. Exhale, plant your hands down. You may need to walk your front foot out a little bit for more space, but slowly start to shift your hips back. Flex through that front foot. You don't want this back hip to be too far past this back knee. So if you're in this posture and you're like this, just walk your front foot forward a little bit and give you more space. I used to hate half splits. I used to hate this, but I guess it was just uncomfortability. I don't know if that's actually a word, but the more I did it, the more comfortable I got in it. Let me know if that's a word, guys. Google it after this. Keep your hips square. With every inhale, grow long through your spine. With every exhale, maybe you fold a little bit deeper over that front leg. Make sure you're not locking through this front knee. Keep a micro bend to avoid from locking it out. The more you flex your toes towards your face, the more you'll feel this stretch in your hamstring and calf. Walk your hands forward, come back to your low lunge. Lift your back knee up. Plant your left hand down, open arm twist in this low lunge. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, rainbow warrior. Come to the knife edges of both feet. Sink your hips down. Reach your lifted arm back towards your mat. Use your obliques to stay active and to help keep your hips up. Inhale, twist back into your open arm twist. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, step your left foot up towards your right. Come to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step your right foot back, low lunge. Lower your back knee all the way down. You can untuck your toes or keep them tucked, however you feel most stable. Inhale, lift your torso, reach up through your hands. Stay active in your pelvic floor. In any of these postures where your hands are up over your head, you can turn your pinkies in towards one another, and it will keep your triceps more active. Stay engaged through your abdomen. Want to be dumping your belly. On your next exhale, cactus out your arms, baby back bend. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, lower your hands down. Shift your weight back, half splits. Again, you can always walk that front foot out a little bit. Keep square through your hips by pulling your left hip back, your right hip forward. With every inhale, make some space in your spine. With every exhale, maybe you fold a little bit deeper into this posture. If your fingertips hurt you like this, you can always come up onto your fists. If you have sensitive wrists, it's not necessarily a posture you even need your hands for. It can just provide a little bit more support. But you can always bring your hands to your hips and fold over. It's whatever feels best for your body. You may notice one side's much tighter than the other, so give it a little extra lovin'. Inhale, walk your hands forward. Low lunge, lift your back knee. Plant your right hand down. On your next inhale, lift up through your left hand, open arm twist. Exhale, rainbow warrior. Come to the knife edges of both feet. Drop your hips down, but use your obliques to keep your midsection engaged. Reach your arm back. We call this rainbow warrior in Hawaii because we're the rainbow state. That's not the actual name for it. I've called it that for so long, I can't remember what the actual name is. So if you're watching this and you're like, that's not the name of that posture, I know. Inhale, come back up to that open arm twist. Exhale, low lunge. Step your foot back, downward facing dog. Maybe this feels a lot more open than the first few have. Maybe we've only done one, I don't know. But maybe you feel more open now. Drop down to your knees. Swing your feet out in one direction. Come onto your bum, because we're gonna do core. Always gotta get that core in. Okay, so we're gonna start with sit-ups. Plant your feet down. Come all the way down to your back. Have your feet about hip width distance apart. Bring your hands behind your head. Draw your lower belly in. Plant your lower back into the ground. Take an inhale to prepare. A lot of noises just came out of my mouth and I'm not sure what they were. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Lower, lift. Lower, lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Focus more on rising your chest up than pulling it towards your knees. Go with the pace of your own breath. If you've got music, blast it so you don't have to just listen to me awkwardly huff and puff. Or maybe my breath inspires you. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Keep your hands behind your head. Lift your feet up the wall. If your legs aren't perfectly straight, if they're bent, that's fine. Take an inhale, lift up through your chest. Exhale, reach your right hand to the outside of your left pinky toe. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach your left hand to the outside of your right pinky toe. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Use your obliques. Keep your lower back firmly planted. It'll help with your lower abdominals. If you can't reach your pinky toe, that's fine. Just actively try. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Even out your sides. Bring your hands behind your tailbone or underneath your tailbone. Again, make sure that that lower back is planted. Slowly drop your legs down on your inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. If you feel your lower back start to pop up off of your mat, just don't lower your legs as far. Your abdomen will build strength. And if your lower back is being lifted, it's not working as hard as it should be anyways. So don't feel like you're cheating yourself if you don't go down as far. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep your feet up. Lift your chest up. Reach your arms forward. We're about to do scissor kicks. If it feels more comfortable and accessible for you, you can keep your chest on the or your back on the mat. But if you want a little bit of an extra oomph, you can lift your chest up. Drop one leg and then the other. You can either point or flex your toes. Make sure you're still breathing. Don't go so fast that you're using the momentum of your swings to get it in. Make sure you're using your muscles to lift and lower, not the momentum. If your neck kind of hurts like this, keep your gaze up to keep your neck long instead of crunching it to look forward. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. You guys are awesome. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock and roll the length of your spine to come up to a seat. Cross your legs, plant your hands down. Come in to a forearm plank. You can do it like you did in Sphinx pose with your arms, your forearms paralleled, or you can bring your hands together. We're gonna do hip dips. You thought we were done. So roll your hips to the right side, dip it down. Inhale, center. Exhale, go to the left. Inhale, center. Dip, 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 dip. We're not here for long. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Even out your sides. Drop your knees down. You can flow through a chaturanga. Maybe you linger in upward facing dog. Or you can lower your hips down and come into a Sphinx posture. Maybe this Sphinx posture feels more open than it did in the beginning of class. Maybe it feels extra yummy because of that ab workout we just did. Whenever you feel satisfied, come up to tabletop, tuck your toes, press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. You've been here before. Sink your hips down and back. Inhale, eagle on the right. Lift your right leg up and over your left knee. You can stay here or go for a full bind where you tuck your toes behind your calf. Bring your right arm down and underneath your left. You can come into a bear hug, or you can go for a full bind in your arms and come palm to palm. Lift your shoulders, lift your elbows in line with your shoulders. Lift your hands away from your face. Find your drishti, your unmoving point of focus. Keep your abdomen active. Imagine being the shortest person in the room from the waist down, the tallest person in the room from the waist up. Inhale, unravel your legs. Keep your arms as they are. Exhale, press through your right foot until it's extended and your torso's face towards your mat. Bring your hands to heart center. Lower them down towards your mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, pull your torso down towards your planted foot. Use your glute muscle to lift your leg up towards the sky. Standing splits. Odds are this probably doesn't look perfect in your body. It definitely doesn't look perfect in mine. Just focus on keeping your spine nice and long. Use your glute to keep that leg active in the back. On your next inhale, lift halfway up through your chest. Exhale, bend your right knee behind your left. Shiva squat, squat down. Inhale, kick your back leg out. Exhale, squat. We're gonna do 5 of these. One more. Inhale, exhale, lower your foot down. Maybe you shift your weight back and forth between your feet. Shake out that foot that was doing all that work, staying planted on the ground. And then find a nice stationary position in your forward fold. On your next inhale, chair pose. Exhale, eagle on your left. Bring your left leg up and over your right. Maybe you go for that full bind. Bring your left arm underneath your right. I can't do a full bind with my legs on the left side, so always honor your body's differences. Just because something's accessible on one side, it may not be as accessible on the other, and that's okay. On your next inhale, unravel your legs. Exhale, kick your leg back. Bring your hands to heart center, then lower them down towards your mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, pull your chest down towards that planted foot. Use your glute muscle to lift up through that back leg. Inhale, halfway lift in your spine. Exhale, bend your left leg behind your right. Shiva squat. Inhale, kick out. Exhale, squat. Inhale, kick out. Exhale, squat. I think we just did 3. One more. Maybe you were keeping better count than me. Lower your leg down to meet your right. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Option to come into crow here. You can bend your elbows like you're gonna go into chaturanga. Plant your knees anywhere between your elbow and your armpit. Maybe this is all you do. Maybe you take it a step further. Lift one foot and then the other. If you're in crow, hold. Whenever you're ready, you can drop your feet down and step back into high plank, or you can jump back into your low plank and flow through a chaturanga. That crow pose was especially difficult. Inhale, lift your right leg high towards the sky, 3-leg down dog. Exhale, low lunge. Step your back foot up about 45 degrees, or about 6 to 8 inches. Point your toes to a 45-degree angle. Lift through your chest. Keep your front knee bent over your front ankle. Lift your arms up overhead. You want to have a heel to mat connection in that back foot. So if your heel's lifted, shorten your stance just a little bit until you find that. Keep your hips square. If your arms ever get tired in these positions, you can always come to heart center. Just make sure you roll your shoulders down and back. Keep open through your chest. On your exhale, bring your hands behind your tailbone, lower back. Press down through your hands to open up. Maybe you add a slight little back bend. Exhale, humble warrior. Bring your torso down to the inside of your bent knee. Lift your hands up and overhead. Stare at your back toes to stay focused on your balance. Keep your hips square. On your inhale, slowly lift back up. Exhale, release your hands, warrior 2. You'll probably need to widen your stance. Keep that bend in your front knee. Parallel your back foot to the short end of your mat. Reach your arms out in opposite directions. Send your gaze over your front middle finger. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach forward with your hand, then reach down towards your mat. Reach up towards the sky with your back arm. Use your obliques to keep both side bodies nice and engaged. If you have the space without crunching through your side, you can reach down for your mat. Like we did in half splits, keep a nice little micro bend in that front knee so you're not locking. Inhale, reverse triangle. Nothing in your lower body moves, but your hips bump forward towards your front foot and your front arm reaches back towards your mat. Again, stay long in both side bodies. Open up through your chest. Lift your front toes. Exhale, parallel your front foot with the short end of your mat. Bring your front arm down towards your back foot. Come into a full circle till you come to the bottom for wide leg forward fold. You can shorten or widen your stance depending on where you want to feel this stretch in your legs. Slightly shift your weight into your toes and bring your tailbone up towards the sky. Relax through your neck and shoulders. Inhale, come to a halfway lift. Exhale, runner's lunge. Walk your hands to the front side of your mat on the inside of your right foot. Maybe you need to walk your right foot out a little bit more towards the edge of your mat. You can drop your back knee or keep it lifted if you'd like to do an active runner's lunge. You can come down to your forearms if you want to feel this deeper. Relax your neck wherever you are. Feel this stretch. Inhale, tuck your toes, lift your back knee. Exhale, step your back foot back, turn to the outside edge of your feet, lift your arm towards the sky. Side plank. You can lower your bottom knee. If you need more support for an added challenge, you can lift your top foot. We're only here for one more breath. Feel that shake, that prana. Exhale, high plank. You can flow through a chaturanga or meet us in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one, step your back foot up. Find that heel to mat connection and then lift through your torso. I'm using a body mic today. My little pack over here on this side keeps throwing me off. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Try to interlace your opposite thumb on top. It'll probably be the one that feels weird. Grow through your chest. Maybe you add a little back bend. Exhale, humble warrior. Bring your torso to the inside of your left knee. Keep your hips square. Send your gaze down towards your back foot. Inhale, slowly rise. Exhale, warrior two. Widen your stance. Sorry. I get really into my breathing, especially when I talk and do this. Inhale, straighten through your front leg. Exhale, triangle pose. Bring your back arm up towards the sky. If you have a block, it's always nice to use here if you need some more support. Squeeze your shoulder blades together to open up through your chest. Inhale, reverse triangle. Lift your front toes. Exhale, spin through for a wide leg forward fold. If you have a headstand practice, you can always incorporate that in this posture. Always watch a tutorial before you do it. Make sure you're practicing them safely. Exhale, walk your hands to the front of your mat. Drop your back knee or keep it lifted, whatever you did on the other side. Maybe you need to walk your foot out just a little bit for some more space. Runner's lunge. Feel the stretch in this posture. Whenever I have music playing, I always like to kind of bebop to the music in this pose. I don't really know why. I don't have any music though. I got the music in my mind. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Tuck your toes, lift your back knee, step your foot back, come into your side plank. You guys are so strong. This is the last little bit of intense energy we're using. Exhale, high plank. You can flow through a chaturanga if you want, or just shift your weight forward and come all the way down to your belly. Zip up through your legs, press the tops of your feet into your mat. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Take an inhale, lift up through your chest, cobra. Place little to no weight in your hands. Exhale, lower your left ear down to your mat. Bring your hands, palms faced up to your sides. Let your legs relax. Inhale, bring your chin back to the center. Bend your knees, grab the outside edges of your feet. We're about to do floor bow. If this isn't accessible for you, you can do cobra again. On your inhale, kick your hands, kick your feet into your hands, roll to the soft part of your belly. Pull your shoulders down and back. Keep your gaze down and out to keep your airway nice and long. Make sure your knees are staying hip-width distance apart. They're not splaying out. Maybe you come to your full expression with another inhale. Exhale, lower down. Place your right ear on your mat, windshield wiper. Your knees or your legs back and forth. Release any tension in your low back. Lower your legs. Press up onto your knees. Plant your knees hip-width distance apart. A nice way to check is to plant both fists between your knees. It's a good way to check. Bring your hands to your lower back. Inhale, grow long through your spine. Exhale, send your gaze up and back. Squeeze your elbows together. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Come back up. Come to sit on your heels. Swing your legs out. Plant your feet hip-width distance apart. Place your hands by your side. You should be able to lightly graze the back of your heels with your hands, with your fingertips. Press into your shoulders, press into your feet. On your inhale, slowly lift your hips. Use your glutes, your abdomen, your thighs. All of them are working together in this action. Press firmly into your shoulders. As your chest lifts towards your chin, lift your chin away from your chest. You can come into a chest expansion by tucking your shoulder blades a little bit more and interlacing your fingers on your mat. Exhale, lower down. You can either do bridge posture again or wheel pose. Plant your hands next to your ears with your fingertips facing towards your body. Plant your feet down. On your inhale, press into your hands, press into your feet, lift yourself up. You can stay here. Maybe you can play around a little bit, lift one leg. If you lift one leg, give it a shot on the other side. Open up through your chest. Whenever you're ready to come out of this posture, tuck your chin and then lower down so you're not crashing onto your head. Walk your feet out as wide as your mat. Let your knees drop into one another, fallen bridge. Pull your knees into your chest. Rock and roll the length of your spine to come up. Extend your legs out in front of you. Lift your hands up, seated forward fold. With a long spine, fold over your legs. You can grab your toes, your ankles, your calves, whatever's accessible for you. The goal of this posture is to feel it more in your lower back than in your hamstrings. Just to release some of the tension from all the back bending. Inhale, slowly come up, lower all the way down to your back, hug your knees into your chest. Happy baby, reach for the insides or outsides of your feet, calf. You can even grab your thighs if that's what's more accessible for you. You can find a rock back and forth. Slowly let go of your feet. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe you take some rolls just to kind of massage your lower back. You can take whatever other postures you'd like, maybe a supine twist. It's whatever you want. This is your time. I'm just here to help guide you through it if you would like. So take whatever final postures you feel like you need in your body. Inhale, hug your knees tightly into your chest. Exhale, let it all go for our final Shavasana. Relax the muscles in your face. Relax the muscles in your body. Unclench your jaw, unfurrow your brow. Notice any places that you're holding tension and let it go. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Quiet your mind. Maybe you bring back your intention one last time. Take an inhale, absorb it. Exhale, let it go. Shavasana is not only about relaxing the body, but about relaxing the mind. Don't overthink if maybe something didn't go the way you wanted it to during this practice. Let it go. It's no longer relevant. If you have the gift of time, you can stay in this posture as long as you would like. If you're ready to move on, bring your hands up to your third eye. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Namaste.